Hello, everyone, and welcome to the ninth episode of Don't Forget the Popcorn. In the spirit of Halloween, I am reviewing what is considered one of the worst horror movies ever made, The Rage, Carrie 2. I'm going to do this one a little bit different for a review and kind of just speak on the film. Warning, there will be spoilers. So if you are interested in seeing this film and you don't want it to be ruined, click this off and come watch it after you view it. All right. The Rage, Carrie 2, is directed by Kat Shia and was released in 1999. This movie here is a direct sequel to the classic 1976 film Carrie, which is one of my favorite horror films of all time. I did a favorite horror films list, and Carrie was on that list. If you guys are interested, check it out. But this movie here, I saw this film when I was a kid. When it came out in 1999, I was pretty young, wasn't even 10 years old. I watched this movie all the time. Why? I couldn't tell you. Okay. So I remember having a very special love for this movie as a child. Now, I hadn't seen the movie for a very, very long time. And I've watched it recently and I decided to review it. Now, do I feel the same as I did as a kid when I watched this film? I absolutely did. I still love this movie. This movie is hilarious. It's terribly acted, it's terribly written. The kills are awful, and that's what makes it great. Friend of mine's like, "Is that the movie where the chick gets killed with CDs at the end?" Yes, there is a kill where a chick gets stabbed to death with CDs. It's freaking hilarious. Um, so Carrie 2 follows Rachel, all right? And Rachel's placed in foster care because her mother notices that she has telekinetic powers, kind of like Carrie from the original film. Now, the thing here is her mom is diagnosed with schizophrenia because she mistaken these powers for demonic things. So she's placed in, a psych ward or whatever. And Rachel's in foster care. Now, Rachel grows up. It takes place 13 years later. Rachel's, I think she's a senior in high school. She's kind of an outcast, dark, edgy, kind of gothic type girl. You know, um, Rachel's cool though. I like Rachel. That's the thing. Rachel's a cool chick. All right, Rachel's a cool little character for us. She's a good lead. I mean, for as good as a lead can be in this movie. So Rachel, her best friend, ends up sleeping with a top star football player, popular guy on the team. And these guys make a game out of this and they give each other points based on the girls they can sleep with. And it's really messed up, but that's what they do. And Rachel's friend Lisa is one of these girls. Now, Rachel finds out that the guy is not actually interested in her and ends up killing herself at school. And she actually, like I said, this is going to have spoilers in it. She actually jumps off the roof face first onto the windshield of a car. It's great. You guys got to watch this movie if you haven't seen it. Um, so that's kind of where the story really kicks off. And you go through the film, and it's very similar to the original Carrie. It just kind of shows you Rachel's life and, what she's going through and why she is the way she is, why she's an outcast. And, you see that just like with Carrie, Rachel's a normal girl. Rachel's actually pretty cool. Same concept. Rachel falls in love with a cool guy, someone she's probably shouldn't be with, according to the standard rules of high school popularity, but she does. And he actually feels the same way, just like in the original Carrie. And it's very similar movies. Like it kind of plays out the same. Rachel ends up at a party with these people. Okay. Now difference from the first movie, the crazy stuff doesn't happen at school. It actually happens at this popular kid's house, rich kid. This kid's house is freaking crazy. Even in 1999, this dude's house is nuts. Like, man, it would be sick to grow up in a house like this. Must be nice to be rich. But anyway, so Rachel ends up separated from her love, Jesse, um, because all these people set this stuff up. You know, they're evil, these popular people. They're playing a big, big prank on Rachel. And Jesse actually doesn't know about it. Jesse is her love interest. He doesn't know about it, but he's not there because they knew they needed to keep him away. And when they get to the place, everyone's being nice to Rachel and it's a fun time. And she's like, hey, this is cool until it's not. And the truth is revealed as to why, Rachel is actually there and Rachel gets pissed. Now, mind you, Rachel has telekinetic powers. So just like Carrie, she really doesn't know how to harness these yet, but you make someone mad enough, they will do what they got to do. And man, the end scene is great. Can I say it's as good as the original Carrie? No, it's not. But I will say this. So the original Carrie, that ending scene in the gym where everyone gets killed, it's just got that classic touch to it. It's original, it's fresh, it was new, and that will never be touched, okay? We seen that, it was done once and it was done well. Now with this film, obviously we've already seen something like this before, so you're not going into it with this, oh, what's about to happen? You know what's gonna happen. But there are some freaking cool kills here, man. There's a kill where she makes this girl's glasses break and go into her eyes, and then that girl ends up killing someone else in a really effed up way. That I won't tell you. If you haven't seen the movie, you gotta watch that part. Dude, like I said, she kills a chick with CDs. It's freaking hilarious, man. It's like, dude, she's like unscrewing stuff in the house and dropping stuff on people. There's like a kill where an axe, or sorry, not an axe, an arrow goes through someone's head and the arrow goes through a door and then goes through another person's head. So you got the arrow in the door with two people's heads on the opposite side. It's just cool, man. It's funny. It's entertaining. Is this something you should take super serious? No, but if you go into it and have a good time with it, you will probably have fun with the movie. I really gotta say, it's one of those movies you gotta just have fun with, all right? You can't go into it expecting to see the best horror movie of all time or expecting to see the next Carrie. This is just, someone's adaptation. It's honestly just someone's adaptation of their own version of how Carrie would go in that modern time of 1999. That's all it is at the end of the day. So, what's there to love about this movie? First things first, 1999 is one of the best years for films. Even the shitty movies in 1999 were good, and this is one of them. This film is great because it harnesses that high school vibe that was going on in the 90s so well, man. You had, what else came out in 1999? She's All That, 10 Things I Hate About You, American Pie, Varsity Blues. You had so many iconic, Jawbreaker, dude. Come on, Drop Dead Gorgeous. Like, you had so many iconic, legendary high school movies come out in 1999. And this one often gets overlooked because people think it's so bad, but it captures that whole vibe well. You got the different crowds, you get the different cliques, you got the goths, the nerds, the jocks, all that. Like, all that stuff is great because if you grew up in the 90s or you're a fan of the 90s, like that was such a big part of being a 90s teenager. This movie encompasses that so well. And I think that's why it still resonates with me to this day because I grew up loving those films. Even though I wasn't in high school at that time, I grew up loving those films and it puts you right back in a time of nostalgia, where you find something that you love. Like anyone can associate it with any kind of time period from any film that they love, and even if the film isn't that good, it can take them right back to a special moment in time of things you remember, things you love doing. And this is one of those movies that just takes me right back to 99, me kicking it with my mom on the couch, watching all kinds of movies. It just puts me in a place, you know? So it's a special film to me. And you gotta love the ambition the guys took on the film. Is it super original? No, but they swung for it, you know? Did they miss? Yeah, but man, they look good swinging that bat. This film has a lot to love, you know? It's kinda like Evil Dead. Like, if you like the Evil Dead movies, the original ones, they're awful, but that's why they're good. That's why people love them. 'Em. They're funny and silly and over the top, and it's just like, it's just ridiculous. You don't take these films too serious. If you have fun with films like these, they're much more enjoyable. And that's the same thing with The Rage of Carrie. But what's there to hate about this movie? A whole lot. There's a lot of things to not like about this movie. One, it's not an original film. It's a complete remake that they tried to push off as a sequel. Whatever. But it's not super original. It's terribly acted. I mean, there's no one really in this film that's would make you think, "God, man, this person should just be in everything." Uh, you know, it's it's got some actors you've seen before, but definitely no one you've ever seen stepping on stage to receive an award. On top of that, it's not very well written. It's not very well directed, but it paces nicely, and it's ambitious, and you got to appreciate that, especially from older films. Now, when it comes to films that come out now, I am far, far more critical of them just because of all the influence we've had and all the technical abilities we have to make films look a certain way, move a certain way. We can make films pretty much do anything in this day and age. So I'm a lot more critical of films that come out now. But now this film is definitely considered a cult classic. It's one of those movies that if you grew up with, you probably love. If you liked this movie when it came out, you probably still like it today. You probably still get excited for it. So overall, The Rage of Carrie 2, I'm gonna give it a 7 out of 10. All right. It is a great cult film. It is definitely one you should watch if you're a fan of 90s high school movies, if you're a fan of silly horrors. I think this is a must watch for this Halloween season, guys. It's not gonna blow your socks off. It's not gonna necessarily be something you're like, I cannot wait to watch again, but it's definitely something worth watching at least once and having a good time with and laughing at. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this little silly review. Different style, a little more loose, kind of just me going off the head. Guys, stay tuned for the next episode and don't forget the popcorn.